Is it true that it takes a village for maintaining good working order on a boat? This is an important question with an equally important answer if you're considering living on your boat. Let's explore the facts to find our answer. Hi, I'm Sandy, and this is Kaya.
And I'm Paul, and we're aboard Sea Oasis.
We always enjoyed outdoor activities and exploring, so now we're spending time exploring in the San Juan Islands, as well as Canada, and eventually Alaska.
And we want to share our experiences and adventures with you and people like you who enjoy the same kinds of things. Welcome aboard.
We've had this boat, this is our third year on it now, and I couldn't find anything that showed when the house batteries had ever been replaced other than a document from 2007. So there's no way that those batteries have been in there for 14 years. But certainly they'd been there for more than 3. And I think on average, these 6-volt, basically golf cart deep cycle batteries generally last 3 to 5 years. The other thing was I could just tell by the way they would charge kind of erratically that they were just due to be changed. I checked with a place in Everett, Washington, where I could pick them up. There are 6 of them. Anytime the batteries are out out of the boat, all the electrical's off. So basically the biggest issue is refrigeration. Since it's a DC powered refrigerator and doesn't have AC backup to it or propane, when you disconnect the batteries, all that's going to eventually heat up or lose cooling. So there's a little bit of planning involved, and that was one reason not to take the old batteries out, drive all the way, take the ferry, then drive all the way to Everett or wherever and back. It'd be an all-day project. It was nice just to buy them from the rental shop in Friday Harbor. That's the reason for changing them out. There's a lot of physical labor taking it out. They weigh 60 pounds each, so it's a fair amount of work just to get them onto the boat, down the hill, onto the boat, and then down in the engine room and swapped out, and then the old batteries out and back up and brought back to the in this case, the rental shop in Friday Harbor, which is where I ended up buying them. And if this acid gets on stuff, it eats holes in it.
Push while you pull.
So the issue with the new batteries, even though the dimensions of them are exactly the same, the height, width, and length, the post where you connect the electrical connections has changed. And the reason it's changed is because they don't want too many lugs or connections on a post. So you end up with people trying to connect way too many things to a single battery post, and it becomes a hazard. So they made the post shorter, and instead of a standard round post like you used to see on a car battery, these are threaded studs, which are fairly small. So that requires an adapter to convert them back to a standard post, and it just takes time and effort. the other thing is the cables that are heavy cables with end connectors on them were now too short because of the style of post that's on the new batteries. So that required having new cables made. Most all of these things on these boats tend to be a little bit custom for specific applications, custom made cables to a certain length. And so you can change anything, you kind of change a little bit of everything.
So the new batteries, the cables just don't reach like they did on the old ones.
Yeah, it's too short. If there's anywhere in town that makes up these cables. I've known there was a little bit of a fuel leak near one of the generator engine injectors for a while. It's a pretty small leak, but I don't like leaks at all. So first I thought it was the fuel return lines between the three injectors. I put new hoses on, new clamps. Still seems to have a leak. I've spent several hours on it, trying to do everything I could to stop it. The reason I know it's leaking is the fuel collects in the drain pan below the generator. It's dyed red because it's of what it's used for, and so I could just see it collecting there. It's fairly easy to clean out with a rag and a screwdriver. But I've done kind of everything I think of doing for now to stop it. And it may mean that it needs a new fuel injector. I'll need to check with a mechanic to see if they can change just one. And then there's more complications to fuel injectors because it involves the fuel system for the generator, and you can end up needing to bleed it, making sure there's no air in the lines, or basically the engine won't operate correctly. So I'm going to try one more time to see if in fact it's a clamp and a return fuel line issue. Naturally, these things that I'm trying to access are not easily accessed. Everything's in fairly tight quarters, but it can still be done. So I'm going to try one more time, and then after that I'm done. I'm just going to see if I can find a mechanic to come down that actually works on Kohler generators, and find out if maybe just that fuel injector itself needs to be replaced. Sometimes if you replace one fuel injector, you have to replace, in this case, all three, because they're balanced. So I don't know, it's more than I have expertise on, so I'll try my last time, and then it's off to find a mechanic that specializes in those generators. It just ends up like most things, much more involved, much more time, much more effort than what it would have originally seemed like.
We invite you to join us as we travel and explore the San Juan Islands, the Canadian Islands, and eventually up to Juneau, Alaska. If you like what you're seeing on our videos, please watch more, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.